Hey, everybody, and welcome to another deep dive with us. This time, we're going to be looking at this really interesting article called One's Divine Destiny.
Oh, yeah.
It's by Shawn Wondunna Foley. It was published just last week, actually. And it's about all sorts of really interesting concepts, like the idea that we can shape our reality and we can create like this amazing future for ourselves. A divine destiny, the article calls it. What do you think about that?
It's a big claim, isn't it? I mean, the thing that really stood out to me is that the article is all about this idea of personal power. It's not about just hoping for the best. It's about like taking action and aligning ourselves with that future we want to see.
Right. Yeah, totally. And it really doesn't waste any time getting to that. Right away, the author talks about change being a constant companion. What do you think that means? Like, how does that tie into this whole idea of divine destiny?
Well, I think it's about acknowledging that life is constantly changing, right? Things are always shifting and evolving. But instead of resisting change, the article wants us to embrace it, to see it as a necessary part of our journey and how we reach this divine future.
So it's more about riding the wave of change rather than fighting against it.
Exactly. And to do that, the article says we need to trust our intuition. It says that everyone has this inner compass inside them that can guide us through these changes and lead us to where we're meant to be.
Okay, now I'm starting to get a better picture of what this divine destiny is all about. It's not like this path that's set in stone. It's about trusting ourselves in the journey and that it's going to lead us to this fulfilling future, one that reflects our values and purpose. Is that on the right track?
Yeah, you got it. Now, there's this other concept in the article that I want to get your take on. It talks about tuning into cosmic vibrations. What do you make of that?
Honestly, when I first read that, I was a bit confused. Like, am I supposed to be picking up radio signals from space or something? What does that even mean practically?
Yeah, it definitely gets a little esoteric there, but I think you got to think of it less about actual vibrations and more about tapping into something bigger than ourselves. The article uses this metaphor of our heart beating in harmony with the universe.
Okay, so less about physics and more about feeling connected to something greater than.
That's a good way to put it. It's about aligning ourselves with the positive energy of the universe, however you want to interpret that. The article suggests that doing that will help us gain clarity, purpose, and direction, which can all help us to manifest our dreams and shape our reality.
Okay, now that makes a bit more sense. So it's not about ignoring our everyday lives. It's more about living with a sense of connection and purpose.
Exactly. And that brings us to another key theme in the article that you underlined in your notes, actually, gratitude. What do you think about how gratitude fits into all of this?
I know. Gratitude gets talked about a lot these days.
Yeah.
But the way the article frames it is interesting. It talks about gratitude being this powerful force that can attract abundance
Yeah.
and help us see our challenges in a new way.
Mhm.
But why do you think gratitude is so important here?
I think it's all about perspective. It's easy to get caught up in what we don't have, the things we want but don't have yet. But when we practice gratitude, we're choosing to focus on what we already have, the good things we have in our lives now. And that shift in thinking can be super powerful.
So it's not just about feeling good in the moment. It's about attracting more good into our lives by appreciating what we have.
Yeah, that's the idea. And the article goes a step further, saying that gratitude can help us see challenges as opportunities to grow.
Yeah, instead of getting stuck on problems, we
Right.
can see them as steps on our path.
Exactly. And that shift in perspective is really important for creating a divine destiny. It's about recognizing that even hard times serve a purpose, even if we don't see it right away.
I like that. It's a much more positive way to look at things. But it's not about pretending everything is perfect or ignoring those tough emotions.
You're right. It's about acknowledging those emotions, processing them, and then focusing on the good, even when things are hard. And that brings us to another idea in the article that really connects with gratitude, vibrating higher.
Okay, now you're talking my language.
Yeah.
I was super intrigued by that whole idea. Can you explain that to me and to our listeners in a way that's a little less out there? What does vibrating higher really mean in terms of self-improvement and creating positive change?
That's a great question. And it's an idea that can mean different things to different people. But think of it like this. We all have a certain energy, a vibration, if you will. And that vibration is influenced by our thoughts, emotions, and actions.
So it's like we're giving off energy, and that energy can be positive or negative, depending on how we feel inside.
That's a good way to imagine it. And when we talk about vibrating higher, we're talking about creating a more positive and expansive energy. It's about making choices that align with our best selves, with our values and goals. It's about replacing negative thoughts with positive ones, about being kind and compassionate, and doing things that uplift and inspire us.
So it's not just about feeling good. It's about acting in a way that shows that positive energy.
You got it. And the article says that as we vibrate higher, we not only feel better inside, but we also start to attract more positive experiences.
Like we become magnets for good things.
Exactly. And that, in turn, can help us manifest our divine destiny and create a reality that reflects our hopes and dreams. But the article also acknowledges that this journey isn't always easy. It takes commitment and perseverance.
That's what I was just thinking about. The article is pretty realistic. It
Yeah.
knows that this process of shaping our reality and creating this divine future, it's not going to be a piece of cake.
Yeah.
So how does the article deal with that?
It stresses how important it is to trust the process, even when things are difficult. It talks about patience, perseverance, and faith, especially when we're facing obstacles.
So it's not enough to just set intentions and then expect things to just happen magically.
No, not at all. It's about having a long-term vision and sticking with the journey, even when it feels like we're going backwards.
It's about having the courage to keep going.
Yep.
Even when things are hard.
Right. And that's where the idea of a new reality on Earth comes in. The article talks about this a lot.
Yeah, that part really stood out to me. It's this idea that we're not just shaping our own life, we're creating a new world together, a better world. Can you tell us more about this new reality and how we can be a part of making it happen?
It's a really hopeful vision, right? The article says that this new reality is full of love, peace, and abundance, and a deep connection with nature. But it also makes it clear that this new reality isn't just going to happen on its own. We have to create it through the choices we make.
It's like a ripple effect. Our choices can actually change the world around us. That's where things get really interesting.
Exactly. It's the idea that we're all connected, that our lives are woven together. And as we each choose to live our divine destiny, as we choose to vibrate higher and act with love and compassion, we create a change in consciousness together.
Wow, that's a powerful thought. It's like we're all artists working together
Yeah,
to create this incredible masterpiece of existence.
that's a beautiful way to put it. And it brings up a question that the article asks that I think is really worth thinking about.
Hold on, before we get to that, I think we should take a quick pause, give our listeners a chance to catch their breath. We've covered a lot of ground, and I'm sure they have a lot to think about. We'll be back in a moment to dive into that question and talk about what it means for each of us to paint our own masterpiece of living existence. Okay, so we're back. And you were about to tell us about that question from the article.
Oh, yeah. Right at the end, the article asks this question. How might you paint a masterpiece of living existence through your own actions and choices? It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. It really makes you think about what kind of impact you're making on the world.
Mm.
It's not just about being happy yourself or successful. It's about how you affect other people and the legacy you leave behind.
Right. And what's really cool is there's no one right answer. We all have different things to offer, different gifts, talents, and experiences.
So it's not about copying someone else. It's about finding your own way and being yourself.
Exactly. And when we do that, when we're true to ourselves and tap into our creative energy, we not only change our own lives, but we inspire other people to do the same.
So it's like a chain reaction of positive energy and inspiration.
Yeah, you could say that. It shows how connected we all are. We're not alone on this journey. We're all part of this web of life, helping each other along the way.
That's a really important reminder. So if our lives are like a painting, what are some of the brushstrokes we can use to create a masterpiece based on what we've learned for this article?
Well, I think the first thing is to embrace change and see it as a chance to grow. Remember, the article says change is always there, but we can choose to see it as a positive thing, not something to be scared of.
So we shouldn't resist the unknown.
Yeah.
We should trust that it's taking us where we need to be.
Exactly. And remember to trust your intuition, too. Your inner voice can help you through those changes and help you make the right decisions.
Yeah. It's about listening to that inner voice and being brave enough to follow it, even if it takes you off the usual path.
And of course, we can't forget about gratitude. The article talks a lot about how powerful gratitude is for bringing good things into our lives and changing how we see things.
I'm seeing how all these ideas fit together. Gratitude helps us to focus on the good things, even when things are changing or difficult. It lets us appreciate what we have now, but also stay open to new things.
Exactly. And then there's the idea of vibrating higher, making choices that show our positive energy and help us and the world around us to vibrate higher.
So it's not just about thinking good thoughts. It's about doing things that match those thoughts.
Right.
Like if we want to see more kindness in the world, we need to be kind to ourselves.
That's it. It's about living the way we want to see the world be. And remember, this journey is a marathon, not a sprint. The article says that creating a divine destiny takes time, patience, and willpower.
It's about trusting the process, even when it's not easy.
And having faith that we're being guided, even when we can't see the whole picture.
Okay, so we've talked about the breaststrokes, embracing change, trusting our intuition, practicing gratitude, vibrating higher, and committing to the journey. But what about the canvas itself? What does the article say about reality and how our actions affect it?
That's where things get really interesting. The article says that reality isn't fixed. It's not set in stone. It's fluid and flexible. And it's always being shaped by what we think, believe, and do.
So we're not just following a script.
No, we're more like co-creators. We're writing the script as we go. And that means we have a lot of power and a lot of responsibility.
It's almost too much to think about,
Yeah.
but it's also incredibly exciting.
That's what's so amazing about it. The article wants us to step into that power and become conscious creators of our reality, both individually and together.
And that brings us back to that question about painting a masterpiece of living existence. It's a challenge, but it's also an invitation to be creative and to create a life and a world that reflects our best selves.
I think you summed it up perfectly. As we finish our deep dive into one's divine destiny, I want to leave our listeners with one last thought.
Okay, I'm listening.
Imagine your life as a canvas, full of bright colors and endless possibilities. What masterpiece are you creating right now? What brushstrokes are you adding every day? And what changes do you need to make to bring your vision to life? It's a journey of self-discovery and creativity, and it's a journey we can all take.
That's beautiful. I think that's a perfect way to end our discussion. Thanks so much for joining me today and for sharing your thoughts on this amazing article.
It's been my pleasure. I always love talking out these big ideas with you, and I hope our listeners enjoyed it too.
And to all of you listening, we encourage you to keep exploring these ideas. Write in your journal, meditate, talk to people who share your interests, and keep that creative spark alive. Remember, you have the power to paint a masterpiece of living existence. Until next time, keep shining your light and creating the world you want to see. I really like that idea of life as a canvas. Like, it reminds us that we're not just watching things happen, we're actually creating our own reality.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that everyone has something unique to contribute. There's no right way or wrong way to paint your masterpiece. It's all about being yourself, embracing your passions, and expressing them.
That's what I find so empowering about this whole divine destiny thing. It's not about trying to be someone you're not. It's about discovering who you really are and expressing that. And trusting that by doing that, you're part of something much bigger.
Absolutely. The article even says that when we embrace our true selves and that creative energy, we not only shape our own reality, but we inspire others to do the same. It creates this ripple effect of positive change.
So it's about like individual growth leading to collective evolution.
Exactly. We're all connected. We're not alone in this journey. We're all part of this web of life supporting each other along the way.
I love that.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into one's divine destiny, let's recap some of the key takeaways for our listeners. What are some practical things they can do to start painting their own masterpiece of living existence?
Okay, well, first things first. Change is going to happen whether we like it or not. So instead of being afraid of it, embrace it as a chance to grow and learn.
Right. It's about being brave and trusting that we have the wisdom to handle whatever comes our way.
And remember to listen to your intuition. That inner voice can guide you through those changes and help you make choices that are truly aligned with who you are.
And don't forget about gratitude. The article really emphasizes how powerful gratitude can be.
It's true. Taking time each day to appreciate what you have can completely shift your perspective. It can bring more abundance into your life and help you see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow.
It's like focusing on the good stuff already in your life.
Yeah.
Makes it easier for more good stuff to come your way.
Exactly. And remember, you can actually raise your vibration by making choices that reflect that positive energy. Surround yourself with things that uplift and inspire you. Do things that bring you joy and make you feel truly alive.
So it's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk, and realizing that the energy we put out there really does affect the world around us.
And finally, remember that this is a journey. It's not a quick fix. Creating a life that reflects your divine destiny takes time and dedication. It takes patience, perseverance, and faith in yourself and your path.
It's about trusting the process, even when it's tough.
And believing that you're being guided and supported, even when you don't see the whole picture.
This has been such a fascinating conversation. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing your insights.
It's been a pleasure.
And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has inspired you and given you some practical tools to start shaping your own divine destiny. Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and keep shining your light.